There's a heat alert this weekend in Los Angeles. Which of your plans to be outside will you have to cancel? Well, what if I told you maybe you could still keep some of them? Hi, my name is Kelly, and this is the Hot Girl Agenda. So a heat alert isn't something to not take seriously. I want everyone to make sure that they know it's happening and take proper precautions. But I think giving you a little bit of information about why you will be hot and what happens when your body heats up and how you stay cool will help you to make good decisions that aren't just binary. So we often talk about it's a temperature, there's a feels like temperature, it's a certain threshold, stay inside, drink lots of water. But that doesn't really give you a lot of options. First of all, everybody's body is different. The environment that you're in is different. But importantly, and what I want to talk about today is the activities you are doing are different. So it's one thing to be outside and be standing completely still. And it's a completely another thing to go out for a vigorous workout. The good news is we have a way to measure that, and it's called MET, and it's a measure of whether or not your body can keep up with cooling itself. Most people's bodies like to stay around 98 degrees. That's like its happy place, and it works really hard to stay in its happy place. So when it gets really hot, your body will start to sweat, and your veins get larger and your blood flows closer to your skin and expels heat. And that's how your body keeps itself cool and around that 98 degree mark. The hotter it gets and the more humid it gets, the harder your body has to work to do that. And at a certain point, it just can't keep up anymore. We know what that is for a healthy adult at different activity thresholds. It's called MET. So if you're under the safe MET threshold, then your body is able to keep up no matter how much heat your body is producing from a run or work or whatever it is you're doing. Your body can keep cooling itself. It's sustainable. But if you're above the threshold for MET, what happens is your body can't keep up, and your core temperature will start rising. It will get higher than 98 degrees and it'll keep going up, right? And so you're really on the clock. It's not a matter of if, but when, how long you can stay safe before you start to show signs of heat illness. Okay, so one important thing to know, your MET, we can break that down by whether or not you're in the sun or the shade, and being in the sun versus the shade can change the level of activity your body's able to cool yourself down while doing. And for older adults, the threshold is much different. It's far lower. Older adults have much lower MET thresholds for any activity level. So with that in mind, let me share some of the MET thresholds that you're going to see or that are forecast this weekend in Los Angeles. Okay, so what does looking at the MET for this weekend tell you about what is safe to do outside? There's kind of three takeaways from the forecast looking at Friday and Saturday. The first is that at no point is it safe to do what I love to do, which is go on a really hard, vigorous run. Now, I'm sort of a glutton for punishment, and I've done this before on hot days. Please don't make my mistake. You go out, you're like, okay, I can it's just hot, it's just heat. And maybe you don't feel bad when you're on the run, but later on that day, you might feel a little cold, you might have a little bit of a headache, or you just feel generally run down. So I really can't in good conscience say it's a good idea to go for a run in the morning or the evening time. Maybe a light jog until about 7 or 8 in the morning. But after that, don't try it unless you're doing it at night when the sun is completely down. The second takeaway is that the temperature doesn't tell the whole story. So Friday will be the hottest day in absolute terms. You have a hotter peak temperature. But Saturday, you have a lower peak temperature but higher humidity, and that's going to cause additional strain on your body. So your MET or your cap on Saturday is going to be closer to around 4, whereas on Friday it's going to be closer around 5 during peak heat. And again, that's for a healthy adult in the shade. In the sunlight, it's going to be a little bit lower. And if you are an older adult or an older adult, Let them know that it's really not even safe to be outside for any period of time, doing any activity other than just kind of being sedentary for very short bursts. Okay, and last but definitely not least is that shade will buy you, as a healthy adult, about 1 MET every day, every hour this weekend. Plus or minus, right? So what does that mean? Well, that MET might buy you jogging versus walking, or walking versus just being sedentary. Again, remember what this MET is telling you is more than what the temperature tells you. It doesn't just say there's a point at which you can't go outside. What it's telling you is that your body's not going to be able to keep up with cooling itself at this point, given a certain activity level. So that enables you to maybe try to do something, but maybe keep it in shorter bursts, or just listen to your body and say, okay, I feel kind of hot. I know what the MET is. So with that knowledge, I'm going to try to go inside and just kind of conserve my energy, or choose some other activity. So when we get the weather forecast, what it tells us is, here's your temperature cap, go inside after that. And that's not very helpful. Especially if we have heat waves at the rate we've been having them this summer. We're having them like every other weekend, right? And you can't just stay inside every weekend. You want to do stuff. What MET enables you to do is it tells you, hey, there's this threshold at which your body's not going to be able to keep up with cooling itself, so watch out. Modify your activity as such. Don't go out as long, but it's not saying don't. It's not binary. It gives you options. So I hope this was helpful for you all, and I hope that everyone stays safe and is able to still get outside, and if not outside, get some exercise inside. And to find out what's next on the Hot Girl Agenda, please like and subscribe.